So 9 months ago, I bought my dream car. Do I regret buying my Lotus? That's a complicated question. So growing up, my father was an engineer, and so he was always pointing out things and explaining things to me. And I really vividly recall a few times that we saw a Lotus Exige out in the wild when he was with me together. And growing up, he would always say, "Oh, the thing about Lotus, those cars, the center of gravity is below the asphalt," which of course is an exaggeration, right? But the idea that the car's engineered in a certain way, right? That the center of gravity is so low and it's so sporty. And then he went on to explain to me the whole idea of Colin Chapman, who Colin Chapman was. He was the founder of Lotus, and his principles of adding lightness. So fast forward 20 or 30 years, I'm working as a professional car designer, and I relocate to LA for a new job. I get to know some of the guys in the studio that I'm working with, and a few of them own Lotuses. One of the guys owns an Elise, and another guy owns an Exige. And the thing that I didn't realize about this new group that I was working with was that it's pretty much impossible to mention to them that you're interested in a car without them just bombarding you with classified ads for that car for sale. All in good spirit, all in fun, but they definitely love to see you get involved in buying your dream car, and they will send you ads until you buy a car. And it was like every time I opened my Microsoft Teams, there were ads for cars for sale. These guys were relentless. I was always very, very nervous about spending the money. I've never bought like a flashy car, which is crazy as a car designer, right? But I think I just grew up in a very middle-class family, and spending that kind of money on a car just was something that I really had to struggle with. I really struggled with the idea of spending that much money. Fast forward to October of 2023. I went home to visit my father. He had been in the hospital, unfortunately, for months at that point in time. He was sick. You know, we were in the hospital, I was visiting, and I was just spending time with them, making small talk. And I kind of jokingly was talking about the Lotus and mentioned, you know, these guys at work, they keep sending me these links to Lotus, and I really like one, but of course I'll never buy one. I'm not gonna spend the money like. And he looked at me and he said, "You should do it." And it kind of caught me off guard because he's always been a very practical person. But he said, "Someday you will be in the position I am. You should do it while you can." That made me reconsider how life is so short and how you should do the things you want to do while you can do them. Unfortunately, about 3 months later, we lost Dad. I think losing somebody that close to you makes you start to question a lot of things in your life. Over the course of the next few months, the guys proceeded to do what they do. They proceeded to send me more ads for Lotuses. So finally, my colleague Andy said, which car do you want?" And I said, "I want an all black Exige." He said, "Okay." So he kept looking and scouting for me for an all black Exige. June of 2024, about 6 months after my dad had passed, I was traveling for a friend's wedding. And during that time, on the flight over to Europe, Andy had sent me a link to an auction online for an all black Lotus Exige S240. And it was the exact car that I wanted. And he said, "This is it. This is the car." And I'm thinking to myself, this could be interesting. I probably not gonna buy this car, but I just want to watch. I want to watch and see what the price is and what it goes for, right? And I kind of had a number in my head that was like, this is what I'd be willing to spend on a car like that. So I decided to just watch the auction and see how it went. And I noticed that the price on the car was actually lower on the auction than I expected. So that's when I decided to make my first bid. And of course, as soon as the guys at work saw my name pop up on the auction site, on the bid, they got super excited, and this became like a huge thing to them. And now they were in it, and they were watching this auction. you know, if you've ever watched these auctions online, you know, the first few days are really kind of like just a few bids to get the ball rolling. But the real action happens really in the last 5 minutes. So remember, I had gone ahead and put in 1 or 2 bids, but I hadn't really been aggressively bidding. So it came down to the last 5 minutes of the auction, and all of a sudden there breaks out a bidding war, as almost always does. And I'm watching these other guys just bid back and forth. And I waited, and I was watching the price, and it was still under my limit. We're here, let's do it. I started putting myself into the bidding war in the last 2 minutes of the auction. So the thing about this auction site that I was using was when a new high bid comes in within the last 60 seconds of the auction, it resets the timer to 60 seconds. The last bid has to stand for 60 seconds for it to be the final bid. So what was originally the last 2 minutes of the auction ended up extending like another, I don't know, 5, 7, 10 minutes, because myself and 1 or 2 other bidders kept bidding in the last minute and resetting the timer to 60 seconds. I see where the price is at this point, and it's at my limit. It is at the top of my budget of what I wanted to spend. And I'm thinking like, this is it. I got 1 more bid in me. 1 more bid. And if someone bids me up, I'm out. This is it. I put in the last bid. This whole time, the guys are in California, Los Angeles time zone. They're at work. They're watching the live bidding on their computers. And they're texting me the whole time, telling me, bid. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? You gotta outbid him. You gotta outbid him. And so this has become like a team sport at this point, me buying this car. So I put in my very last bid. And I'm watching on my phone as the last 60 seconds is ticking down, waiting for that counter bid to come in to put me out. And I'm watching, and it's like 30 seconds, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, and I'm getting nervous. It hits 5, and I'm like, there's no way this car is mine. There's no way I'm about to buy this car. 4, 3, 2, it hits 1, and then it hits 0, and I'm just like, oh my God, I think I just bought this car. Oh, I just bought my dream car. This is actually kind of crazy. So luckily for me, logistically, one of the things that made this car special that I wanted to buy was where it was located from the seller's address. So I currently live in Los Angeles, and the seller was located in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So I took a flight from LAX, quick little $50 flight, LAX to San Jose. He came and he picked me up at the airport in the car. It was a really cool moment because I was standing on the curb in front of San Jose airport waiting. And of course there was a crowd of other people there waiting for their rides also. And when this car pulled up, everyone just stopped and turned and looked at it. And then he got out of the car, handed me the keys and said, congratulations, here's your new car. Do I regret my purchase? Right now, no. I think because, like I said, I grew up in a family that was very modest about money, and buying something like a sports car was seen as kind of an extravagant thing. There were definitely moments over the last few months that I've owned this car that I've questioned whether I should have spent the money. I think it is worth pursuing your dreams and checking the box if you have the opportunity to do so. And does it mean I will own this car forever? I don't know. Right now, in this moment, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And I plan on making many more videos over the course of time as I own this car, as I get to know it better, and share that with you guys.